Let's talk about Chrom and Roy. As you guys know, Chrom and Roy are Echo Fighters. So what that means is that they basically mirror each other in terms of moves and frame data. They're pretty similar outside of like a few key differences. Like one of the major differences between Chrom and Roy is that Roy has sour spots on his attacks and Chrom does not. So if Chrom is at high percents and hits you with a tipper move, it will be more likely to kill compared to Roy. So hitting with tipper F tilt with Roy, and then I'll do the same thing with Chrom. Yeah, as you saw, that's it way farther. But then at the same time, let's say I get a strong hit with Roy, that sends much farther than Chrom's non-tipper hit. So those are the trade-offs. And then the other one is that Chrom's up B is different from Roy's. Chrom's up B, it's kind of similar to Ike's without him throwing his sword up, and Roy's up B is that one. So yeah, we're gonna kind of explain why a lot of people believe that Roy is the better of the two, because I also think that Roy is better than Chrom. But before I get into explaining more, make sure to subscribe, like the video, comment what you think about Roy and Chrom, or if you think Roy is significantly better than Chrom or not. So I think the only reason that Chrom is significantly worse than Roy is his recovery. His recovery is incredibly exploitable. This move is super duper exploitable. Something that people may not know, look at the hitbox. The hitbox only covers the front of Chrom. It doesn't even cover behind or above him or behind him. So a lot of people think because he's spinning, it covers like his entire body. That's not the case. So it's pretty easy to hit. And I think that at the start of the game's life, people didn't realize how exploitable it was. A lot of times people would let Chrom recover for free, or at the very least, if they didn't let him recover for free, they would mess up edge guarding him and they would die. So like, this is a common thing you would see happen. That is very, very common that you would see happening at the start of Ultimate. It still happens now, but less likely because people just know how to avoid it or know not to get hit by that to, you know, allow that not to happen. But yeah, that was definitely a big flaw compared to Roy's recovery, which it doesn't go as far, but because of the startup, he can kind of just immediately get back and not have to worry about the opponent properly positioning themselves to hit him. One of the benefits to both of these characters too is that they have good airspeed. So there's a lot of cases where they don't even need to actually do their RB to make it back. I'm actually going to change stages to show you. And yeah, as you see, I didn't even need to use my up B because again, the aerial drift from both Roy and Chrom are just really, really good. They also have a really good directional air dodge, but if you don't know, they have like a top 10 airspeed. I'm actually gonna look up like what it is just to make sure I'm right. Oh no, their airspeed's top 5, my bad. Top 10, top 5, their airspeed's really, really good. It's insanely good. Yeah, they can just drift incredibly well and make it back without the need of using their up special. So that makes Chrom not as bad, but again, like if he's put in situations where he does have to use his up B, it is going to be rough because even though they can drift and make it back on their own, you have to think that, okay, well, even if they can do that, their opponent's going to harass them and try to force them to use their up B. And for the case of Chrom, again, like his recovery is just exploitable. And the better the players at a higher level, the more likely you're going to see Chrom just get edge guarded because of the fact that his recovery is that exploitable. And it also doesn't help that a lot of characters have just ways of edge guarding him without really committing to much. So a perfect example is characters with counters. Like Joker's counter against Chrom's recovery is messed up. He can just so easily edge guard Chrom without necessarily having to even worry about the threat of getting spiked because of Tetrakarn. Even without Arsene, he could use Rebel's Guard in some spots to edge guard Chrom. So there's also that to worry about. And if you Rebel's Guard, that helps him get Arsene sooner, you know? You know, you have Min with their arms. Just, there's a lot of characters that have answers to Chrom's recovery. And I'm not saying that Roy's recovery is amazing either, because it's not a super amazing recovery, but it's fast and just allows him to quickly grab the ledge and spots where Chrom can't. So it just makes it that much harder for the opponent to actually position themselves in the proper spot to edge guard Roy in some cases. Oh yeah, Wes, that is also true. Yes, Roy can actually mix up his recovery better because he can angle his up B. Chrom cannot angle it. I mean, he can kind of drift with his up B, but it doesn't really help that much. So I guess let me just show that really quick. So, you know, Roy has the ability to like do this, and then he could also just go low with his B, and yeah, good mix-ups. That's reason one why Roy is better than Chrom. One of the other reasons is just Roy's sweet spot. Roy's sweet spot is just absolutely absurd. So, okay, so that's what Chrom didn't kill. And then let's go with Roy. Yeah, like Roy's kill power is just noticeably stronger than Chrom's, and that allows him to just do something like the most absurd kill setups. Yeah, there's spots where you can do that. That is a real kill confirm with Roy. And you know, let's try this with Chrom. I mean, okay, yeah, so I talked about the recovery, I talked about Roy's sweet spots. Okay, let's talk about something that Chrom does well though. So even though Roy has more kill power, Chrom's kill power is more consistent because of the lack of a sour spot. So, you know, let's say Roy does F smash, right? The same F smash that would kill. Look how pathetic the hitbox on F smash is if it doesn't sweet spot. It's noticeably different. Whereas with Chrom, it doesn't matter. You can get the tipper, you can not get the tipper, that will kill. So this is Chrom's tipper F smash. Doesn't matter. Like, doesn't matter if you get the strong or the inside hit, the outside hit, it will kill. And it's the same thing with his jab. Like, if you get tipper jab, you can still follow up from it. It's definitely harder depending on how the opponent DIs it, but you can still get a follow up from it. If I stop sucking and actually bear like I want to, there it is. Yeah, so you can still get a follow up from it, whereas you get the tipper jab with Roy, like, he gets nothing. Like, there's absolutely nothing he can get. The only time where getting the tipper hit from Roy is beneficial is if the opponent is at a really high percent, because you can get like, yeah, you can get that. That is a true confirm. Like, Roy has a lot of really strong confirms with weak hit up air into stuff at higher percents. So that's basically the only time where you actually want to get a sour spot with Roy is when you're doing that. But other than that, getting weak hit with Roy is just really bad. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, because Chrom's jab doesn't sour spot, his ledge trapping is better for that reason. Like some other differences as well. So I don't know how easy it is to see it, but like Roy's forward tilt doesn't hit as low as Chrom's does. Like, Chrom's hits slightly lower. I might have to be a different character, but Chrom's F tilt can like hit some characters hanging from ledge. Let me switch characters. I think this is fine. Yeah, so, oh yeah, no it doesn't. That is a pretty big difference. But yeah, I guess that's like something to bring up. For some reason, some of their animations are different for some of their attacks. It's like very slightly different, so their hits just connect differently. I mean, jab also the same thing with Roy and Chrom. Because Roy's jab has the sour spot, it's not as good in as many situations as Chrom's because he doesn't have to worry about that, so he can get a follow-up. At least if the opponent doesn't DI the jab right. Let me bring this up too, because this is definitely something that I see people just not know, and they just think that like this character's jab is like super broken. If you DI jab away from Chrom and Roy, it makes it like harder or impossible for them to get a follow-up. I just need to show you guys, because there's definitely too many situations where I see people be like, oh yeah, it's a guaranteed follow-up every time at kill percent. So if I get like this, yeah, if you get like the center hit with jab, then you can get a follow-up. But if they're at higher percents, it will stop working. This shouldn't work. Yeah, see, higher percents, they get nothing. They cannot get a follow-up here. You DI jab away. But then this is the mix-up. So if they think you're gonna DI jab away, they just go for that. That's the downside to doing that. Yeah, so we'll do the same thing with Roy. Okay, well with Roy, you can get it. Roy can get the back air, but it's not going to be the strong of the bear. So there you go. So DI Roy and Chrom's jab away because they either cannot get a follow-up, or the follow-up they get is just really hard to get to connect, or you know, not realistic. So like I said, in Roy's case, you can get jab bear, but it's not the strong hit. Yeah, at lower percents you can get jab follow-up regardless. But I think people just think that the move combos way better than it does because people aren't DIing it properly. So I just wanted to bring that to people's attention. But yeah, so Roy is the better of Chrom and Roy because of just being able to snowball matches hard because of the strong hits. Like if he gets the right hit, he can kill incredibly early. And in Roy's case, it is very realistic for him to get those strong hits. It's not impossible for him to get like sweet spot attacks because you don't have to be crazy precise with him in order to get those confirms. And then the other reason is his recovery is just less exploitable than Chrom's. Chrom's recovery is very exploitable even though he has the ability to reversal the opponent if he hits them. It's just the better that people have gotten, the less likely that is to happen, and that is why Roy is just the better character than Chrom. The only benefit to Chrom over Roy is just not having the sour spot, because even though it's less likely for Roy to get like the sour spot hits, it is possible, and it can definitely affect him from closing out stocks. But yeah, overall, Roy is the better of the two Fire Emblem characters, and that's all I gotta say. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like, subscribe to my channel. I'm close to 100k subs, and if you want to help me get to 100k, that'd be great. Also, comment what you think about Roy and Chrom, because I know there are definitely some Chrom enthusiasts out there that 100% think that Chrom is still better than Roy, or at the very least they think it's not, like the difference between them aren't as bad as people make it think. Yeah, bro. Thanks for watching and have a good one.